Hi all, and welcome to week 3 of the class. We're about halfway through. I hope some of it's starting to make sense to you. In the last couple of weeks, we've looked at content. Content is king. For real estate people, you may have heard the maximum that it's all location, location, location. Well, for web people, it's all content, content, content. That's what drives people to your site. And that's what gets people to talk about your site, and what gets them to retweet it and repost it and reblog it and all the other things we do so that we get the all-important share. Do you remember from one of the previous marketing classes that we talked about ROI? In the financial world, ROI is return on investment. In the social media world, ROI is return on involvement. And that's what we're trying to get. We're trying to get people involved with your brand by getting them to follow you, to like you, to subscribe, to read, to retweet, to repost, whatever it takes. When you can get people committed to your brand like that and become part of the conversation, then that's when you've got that ROI. That's when you've got that return on involvement. So this week we're going to talk about the voice. You've got several readings, and for your discussion question, you've got 3 readings in there. The Lee reading, the Sider reading, and the McCammon reading on all about your voice, how to find your voice and your tone. Lee breaks it down, talks about its marketing plans, strategies, different things. But I like to just make it simple. When I talk about social media voice and social media tone, to me it's what are you saying and how do you say it? Again, what are you saying and how do you say it? Think about this a second. If you're at a party or you're with a group of people, you're with a group of co-workers, and you're talking, think about the tone that you take. Think about the words that you use with them. Do you have a smile on your face? Are you open and friendly? Now think about when you're talking to your children or your spouse. It's the same question. What kind of tone do you take? What's your voice? What words do you use? And then, of course, what do you communicate visually by your face and your body language? Social media is the same thing. It's what are you saying and how are you saying it to your audience? What is your tone? What are you trying to put out there to them? Your assignment this week comes from the Evans reading, in which you're going to develop a style guide. Now, a style guide is kind of like a employee handbook. When you went to work for someone, you were given a handbook, and you probably had to sign some papers on there will be do's and don'ts and these kind of things. Well, a style guide is the same type of thing. It's a document that tells anyone in the organization, here's how we're going to do things. Here's how we're going to post. Here's how we're going to repost. We're going to write 300 to 500 words. We're going to keep it on this tone. We're going to do these things. So a style guide for a company is basically the instruction booklet on how to create content. So that's what you're going to do and for this piece. And then finally, for your brand persona, you're going to research and select 10 Fortune 500 companies. And you're going to do 3 adjectives to describe each of their brand personalities based on the observation of their social feeds. So when we talk about a persona on a company, we're saying what image are they projecting. It ties in with the voice and the tone, but it's kind of who they are. Think about it this way. My analogy that I used when I was talking about you sitting around with coworkers or being at a party, whatever, you were an equal. Your persona was someone that was perceived to be on an equal footing with everyone else. Then I asked you to think about what your tone and voice would be if you were talking to your children or your spouse, for instance. When you're talking to your children, particularly when you're having to discipline them, you're an authority figure. Okay? That's what a persona is for a company. When you think about their tone and their voice, think about what they're saying to you. Think about how they're saying it to you. So in this assignment, you've got to pick 10 companies. You've got to pick 3 adjectives on each one. Now, they've got to be different, so you can't just use the same 3 adjectives throughout. I I want to see 30 different adjectives in this assignment. I also want to see what of their social media you got this from. Did you pick the first one? Let's, for argument's sake, say you picked Coca-Cola and you went to their website. Okay? And you got the 3 adjectives of what kind of voice they were trying to put out there. I want to see different sites. I don't want you just going to everybody's website or everybody's Facebook page or everybody's Twitter page. I want to see at least 5 different platforms in this assignment for this week. Okay? So 10 companies, 30 different adjectives, 5 different platforms, and don't forget to do your APA references on them. So a little bit of work this week. You've also got the quiz this week, don't forget, covering everything up to this point. So this is a type of week I would get started early and jump on it quick. So I hope you guys have a great week. If you need me, give me a shout.